So to prepare your slide for the microscope, you want to use the razor and try and get, like Tom said, 1 cell thick. However, that's quite tricky, especially when you're doing it by hand. So you'll need to have some patience and just take your time and probably do several cross sections. So it'll probably take me a few times to get a good sample, and once I do, then I'll show you how to mount the slide. So you want to get the razor's edge right as close to the end of the cross section as possible, and then you just want to make a slice as thin as you can. That's a pretty good one, but we'll try another just to get the idea. You don't have to get a full circle because what we're looking for is closer to the outer edge anyhow. So Tom's going to have you look at the rays, the phloem, the xylem, annual growth increment, etc. So I'm going to put this one on. I think it'll do. You can pick it up with your fingers. And so what you want to do is put your cross section in the middle of your slide, like so. And I have a dropper with water. In the lab sometimes they'll use oil, a type of glue. You can also use iodine to dye. And you want to cover, so a couple drops, cover your sample with water. Pop any bubbles you might have. Okay, so right now my sample is kind of just floating in a drop of water. And then you're going to take your cover slides. Now you have to just be careful because these can actually cut you. They are very delicate, and you don't want to get any fingerprints, so hold it at the edge, and all you want to do is holding your cover slide on an angle, come into contact with the edge of your water drop, and you'll notice the capillary action actually draws the water down the edge of the slide, and then you just drop it. Okay, so because the cross section is a little bit thick, the slide does sit up or the cover slip does sit up off the slide, but that's fine. So there you have your cross section mount, and then what you want to do to check for accuracy and to see how successful your cross section is, to see if it's thin enough to see the parts to take a picture of, you want to put it under, and you can just use 4 power, bring it into magnification, and have a look. And so we will have the dyno set up so that you can see, but I've done this mount thin enough that I can see all of the different parts that Tom is going to have you look at. So first thing is to start with your cross section. So get a razor, and again, as thin as you can, make a slice, and then prepare your mount. So you put your slice on the slide. Try and go for the center. Sometimes if you do one on one side and one on the other, you can do 2. You put your drop of water, or a couple drops, whoops, so that it's floating. And that just helps magnify the cells. Cover slip right to the edge, so you can drag it along your slide until you come into contact with the water, and then you'll watch the water move down the slide. As soon as that happens, drop it. Don't have enough water in there, so I'm just going to squirt some in at the edge here. And there you have it. So you just want your section surrounded by water. That's the idea.